Hey y'all, so I've decided to talk about being on child support. Me and my ex-husband divorced about 2022, officially in 2022.
Let me just say, guys, having represented men and women for over 2 decades, there is nothing that women hate more than being on child support. They love to receive it. Some of them are fine if they don't get it, but they all hate to pay it.
We separated 2021, and of course, it's been the third year. Now, I got frustrated and irritable about not being able to electronically speak to my kids because they live in a whole nother city in Texas. I also got very frustrated with having to go all the way to the city that they live at, pick them up, stay at a hotel. Somewhat spent between $12,000 and $15,000 to see my kids this last year.
All right, let me just say that this woman makes a lot of money. It is very, very expensive to see your kids when they live in another state. She's paying, what did she say, $12,000 to $15,000 a year? That's over $1,000 a month on top of her child support. So this lady's making bank. Now it's weird why she doesn't have her kids. We're gonna listen to that in a second. Hopefully she'll tell us. And I can already tell that there's bad co-parenting between both of them if the father won't let her talk to the kids electronically, like over a little tablet or over the phone, FaceTime. Something's going on there, but we're gonna find out hopefully.
And so I filed for enforcement. And of course, that landed me in the child support range. It's frustrating because after agreeing to what we agreed to for child support, his sleazy lawyer is trying to get more information about my income when we've already agreed to the child support amount.
All right, typically you can kind of agree to the child support amount, though judges don't love it. Judges want to make sure that the child is receiving the appropriate amount of child support. Now, you can agree to any number above what the state would typically calculate, but judges don't like when you agree to a lower number. Sometimes the parties are on good terms and they'll say, hey man, just shoot me $50 a month, $100 a month on child support. Judges hate that and they will not approve your divorce complaint. They want to make sure that the child is receiving an appropriate base level amount of support. It seems that this lady is hiding her income because she doesn't want the sleazy attorney to know how much she makes. This lady is about the dollar.
And I absolutely get where these men are coming from because I wasn't that parent that was like, oh, I ain't helping you. And we agreed on no child support no matter who had the kids. His financial situation, his support situation is way different than mine.
Wait, did she just say that they agreed to no child support? Because I thought she just said that they agreed to a child support amount, but maybe I misunderstood. Okay, so apparently there's no child support.
My work-life balance was very hard even when we were married. I had a nanny. I actually had two nannies. I had an in-house nanny, a weekend nanny, house cleaners.
This lady is making bank. And I see this all the time, especially down here in Atlanta where these black women are killing the game. They are making so much money. A lot of times these women will have a lot of financial resources and they will marry a man who is not making as much as them. What do? They divorce him. It always ends in divorce. Now, I'm not sure if another man was in the picture or if she just got tired of him not making enough. We might find out, but this is very interesting. This lady's got two nannies and a house cleaner. All right, she's making money.
And hell, if I could afford a cook or a chef, I would have had that as well. But my nanny was a cook, and so he stayed at home playing video games. I did everything I could to bust my ass. I had a growing business at the time. I was a full-time athletic trainer in Texas. So I was the breadwinner. And I did and delegated duties, and I still delegate duties that stress me out. Needless to say, this man knew that I was going through a psychotic break when we got a divorce because he was like, I'm not going to help you unless the courts make me help you.
All right. And now we find out how he got the kids. She's going through a psychotic break. It is very, very difficult, guys, for women to lose custody of their kids. The vast majority of times when women don't have custody of their kids is because there is an agreement. Judges really don't like to take kids away from their mother unless there is a real urgent and significant need. If this lady's having bouts of psychosis, what does that mean? It means that the children are not going to be stable in her care. The judges, the courts, they cannot depend on her to watch and take care of the children if she's having psychotic episodes. Now, we're going to assume that this is not her fault. Anybody can have mental problems. It's important that if you have mental problems, you take care of yourself and you seek treatment. But hey, it's the luck of the draw. So it's not her fault necessarily that she's having these psychotic episodes. The judge is not going to punish her for that, but is not going to leave the kids in her care if her psychotic episodes are not controlled.
And I was asking him to do stuff like pick up the kids after school. This is the time between our separation. And he made a deal with me. And this is as I'm going through a psychotic break, going through this divorce. He was like, I'll take the kids, take them off your hands or whatever. I went on FMLA for mental health through the divorce. And then didn't give the kids back. Essentially, he didn't give the kids back. And
fellas, hey, you let me know if your wife going through a divorce is having psychotic episodes, would you give the kids back? What do you think? Put it in the comments below.
He didn't give the kids back, and he bargained with the kids. So my only ace in the hole was, okay, I'll lift the geographical restriction on the kids, but I'm not paying you child support. You can't have half of my business, and you cannot have half of my retirement, my teacher's retirement.
I can't believe she's admitted this. Guys, she sold her kids. She basically said, hey, listen, I'll lift the geographical restrictions on the kids so they can go with you. But if they go with you, you can't touch any of my pension. You can't touch any of my business and no child support. So I'm not going to pay you $1. If you want custody of these kids, even though I am exhibiting psychosis, if you want custody of these kids, you got to have no claim to any of my money. This lady sold her kids.
And so we agreed on that. And where I up was not saying indefinitely, like no child support indefinitely until the kids are 18 years of age. And so he was able to get child support.
Of course. Guys, listen, it amazes me how you will see women say, and they are absolutely right, that if you lay down and make a baby with them, you should support them in some capacity. But this woman with multiple kids who's making all of this money doesn't want to spend one penny to feed these kids, doesn't want to spend one penny to clothe these kids, one penny to house these kids. She wants to keep all of the money for herself while her kids are 100% supported by the father. All right, we're not going to talk about her mothering skills, but this lady's trying. She sold her kids.
But now here we are. We already did an order for child support.
You guys asked me why I retired. It's this. It is absolutely this. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
And his lawyer is trying to get my employer information. Well, I'm a 1099 employee. I'm employed by myself.
Of course.
So you're not going to get that information. But
wait a minute. This is even worse. I hope this attorney sees this TikTok. The attorney is entitled to her income, is entitled to her financial information. Why? Because she has the legal obligation to help support her kids. She just said she's not turning over her financial information so that an accurate child support amount can be calculated. This lady doesn't care at all about supporting her kids. And I don't know if she's going through a psychotic episode right now. She looks normal. Looks can be deceiving, but I cannot believe she is on TikTok explaining that she is violating the court's order and the court's rules about disclosing financial information for the benefit of the kids. This lady is a piece of work. If you have a good mother in your life, you are blessed.
Let's not be
Jesus.
neglectful that both men and women are human, and both men and women have very disgusting characteristics about them. Because you're a
Obviously.
grown man, I set you up for success by getting you your CDL hazmat, your TWIC card, your passport, and you choose to drive Brock's trucks. But
She said passport. I set you up for success with that passport, pimp. I don't want to pay anything for my kids.
now you want to eat off of me. It's just insane. And you're in a 2-income household. You live in a house that is paid off by your mom. You rent from your mom. Your mom is your landlord, and you have no car note. And I assumed all of the debt when we got divorced. Like, when I say I was the dude in this situation, I was literally the dude in this situation. So what I have for anybody, male or female, in this situation, when they have a non-compliant, non-understanding partner, ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, baby's father, baby's mother, is lawyer up and get a good lawyer. Invest in a lawyer, because you're going to.
She wants to invest in a lawyer and doesn't want to invest in her kids. Imagine if you had a mom like this. She doesn't want to spend one penny on her kids, but is telling people to spend money on an attorney so that she doesn't have to spend any money on her kids.
Going to pay for it down the road. Just know that. I've been the nice guy. I've been trying to have this cute little co-parenting situation with him, and it's just not working.
What type of cope? All right, I will be honest. When she first started this and she said that the father was not allowing the mother to communicate with the kids telephonically or through electronics, I didn't know what she was going to say. I knew that was bad co-parenting, but I didn't know why. But I'm against that. You know, the father, listen, it's not about you. It's about the kids, right? That's how it needs to be. We can have problems with our kids' mothers or fathers. That's fine. But the kids need to be left out of it. But when she said she had psychosis, I was like, well, maybe he's protecting the kids. He doesn't really know what she's going to say. He doesn't know if she's having a psychotic episode. Who knows if she's going to start going off on the phone or on FaceTime. But now I understand why there are problems. She thought they were going to have this great co-parenting relationship when she doesn't spend one penny on these kids and basically sold them so that he doesn't touch her retirement and doesn't touch her business, which was a marital asset since they were married, and she had her business and she was doing all of this athletic training. Now, to be fair, to her credit, she does spend, what did she say, $1,000 a month to go see the kids. But does that feed the kids? Does that clothe the kids? Does that provide for the kids' transportation? Does it provide for the kids' medical care if the kids are young? Does it provide for child care? This lady just shows up and sees the kids once or twice a month, spends $1,000 on hotels and Ubers and whatnot, and then goes home. This is absolutely a disgrace. It is amazing to me, and I know I'm old school. I'm 48 years old, but it is amazing what people will get on TikTok and expose about themselves.
He's not very compliant. He's not even following the rules that we just got an order for not even a month or two ago. Like, skips out on letting me talk to the kids in the evening. And I'm having a running documentation list of this, because when I do decide to lawyer up, he's going to have to run me back something.
First of all, he's not paying you back anything. And she didn't even spend money on the lawyer. Now, I will say this. She said something about, she's the man of the relationship. I cannot tell you how many times these men work so hard to amass wealth, to amass assets. And then when the time comes to spend some money, they won't do it. They will not spend money on attorneys. It is fascinating to me. I never have problems with women wanting to spend money on an attorney. They know, hey, this is important. Typically, it's the man, and not the man who's not making a lot of money. It's the men who make a ton of money. So many times they want to represent themselves. She making all of this money, having sold her kids to keep her retirement, sold her kids to keep her business. She goes to court with no attorney. She wants to keep every single penny. I will never understand this type of mentality. You are not going to be able to take that money with you. Guys, just listen to me. If you're making a lot of money and the time comes to talk about things that are very important to you, like your kids, spend the money. If it's important, spend the money. You'll get it back. You're making a lot of money anyways. This lady, she's something else.
Because this is ridiculous. Like, you're not even being a compliant parent.
She's talking about not compliant. She's violating the court order. she refuses to tell the judge how much money she makes, but he's not compliant.
So my advice is lawyer up. And this is coming from someone who's on child support. I'm a woman that bare 2 children, that breastfed for 18 months, and I am the one on child support.
All right, guys, listen. What do you think about this? Am I too hard on her? Do regular people listen to this and like, oh, I understand, sister, or I don't know what type of response she thought that she was gonna get. But a divorce attorney sees this and is absolutely disgusted. Disgusted. She doesn't want to spend 1 penny on her kids and sold her kids to her ex for her retirement and her business. Guys, I'm gonna leave it here. Put it in the comments below how you feel about this situation, how you feel about parenting, and if anything can be done to help this lady. All right, talk to you in the next video.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!